Hello friends, welcome to my YouTube channel The Logical Indian. Today we're going to see how we can call a web API using Python. So for this we're going to need a library called requests. If you do not have it installed, you can just type pip install requests in your command line and it will install uh, request to your Python environment. Next is import JSON. Now JSON should be already installed. It comes in pre-installed with your Python installation. This is not essential for calling the API, but after we receive the API data, JSON, this library can be used to format the data and to make it more readable. So we're going to use two parameters for the request method. First is the URL and second is the parameters. So basically an API consists of two parts, the URL we are calling and the parameters we are sending with the URL. This parameters contains values which are specific to our request. In this case we are using an API to get the values of the time during which the International Space Station will pass a given point. In this case, we are setting the latitude and longitude of that location. This location is of Bangalore. So if you want to use your location, you can just search in Google for what is the latitude and longitude of that place. Now you have to use exactly LAT and LAN because uh, this has been set in the API by the developers, so we can't use it as we want. Now we're going to make the request and we will store the value that we get after the request in the variable r. So request package contains a method get which will take the two parameters we defined. These are named parameters, so you have to type the name. First is the URL, and second is the params. Now we're going to fetch the data from the request, data we received from the request. So basically R right now contains various other information beside the data. From that we are just picking up the data and storing it into the variable data. Now we're going to print the data. We will run the file using Python, then followed by the file name. There's an error I think, so I missed a comma. Now as you can see, we got the message or the values, but these cannot be understood very well because it is not formatted. However, make note that it is the same for a computer whether the data is formatted or not. It can understand both type of data easily, but for humans it should be more readable. So we are going to use uh, the inbuilt package JSON to format the data. It is not very necessary to understand this right now because you may skip this step. This is just for our visualization. Now we're going to print the data again, and this time we see that the data is very well formatted. You can see different type of values, although I'm not completely sure what these values are. This is just an example to show you what the data means, how we receive the data. It would make more sense to an astronomer or person with good knowledge of space. So basically, this gives some kind of time values stamps, which can be converted to real times, uh, either 24-hour clock or 12-hour clock, and it can be understood by humans. So that's it. Just